I'm a bird, mother. I'm a bird.
Borderlands 4 might be $80 and fans are angry. Basically, the problem that is happening right now, the words that were uttered. You guys remember the whole Diablo Immortal disaster, the whole... You guys have phones, right? So he's the new you guys have phones guy. He basically said that if you're a real fan, you make it happen. You don't have $80. If you're a real fan, you make it happen. Never expected Borderlands to pull a Pokemon, but here we are, 2025.
Salutations everybody, it is Maddie here today. I hope you're all doing absolutely excellent. Today we're gathering to talk about Borderlands 4 again. Now our last Borderlands 4 upload, by the way, did way better than we ever expected, so thank you for that, but also was a lot more positively skewed, which was surprising to me and I think many others, because I really haven't been on the Borderlands hype train since Borderlands 2. I've been excited for Borderlands games, but each have really underwhelmed me since 2012. So for me personally, going into 4, I was like, yeah, I'm indifferent to it, I'm probably not going to play it, but the state of play really turned my opinion around as I documented in that video. Today, however, we're really testing the love of Borderlands, because we're talking about Borderlands 4.
I'm gonna be honest, I thought even in the trailer, when they were like revealing how the game is gonna look, I thought it looked very mid.
Yeah, it didn't look interesting. It looked very bland.
And like, I don't want to pay $80 for a game that I'm gonna just not enjoy as much. Like Tiny Tina, like me and Zen finished the game in like what, 10 hours?
I think so.
And I don't want to do that again. I don't know, maybe just me, like both me and Zen, we have the first one, the second one, the third one, and Tiny Tina. So we have 4 of them. And I just don't think I'm ready to spend $80 on Borderlands for a mediocre experience.
At $80. And it's been a subject we've talked a bit about on Defining Duke, but today Gearbox and Randy Pitchford are doing Gearbox Randy Pitchford things. We're going to talk about the price of Borderlands 4, $80, and if you're a big enough fan to pick it up for that price tag. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here into what's going on in the games industry, consider subscribing. Now, this is sort of like, if Randy Pitchford is a Jedi, you have the light side of Randy, you have the dark side of Randy. And I think he gives one answer before the one we're really going to talk about today, which was light side Randy. I think it was just well-reasoned, lays it out, puts the blame in the right areas, and then there's dark side Randy, which we're talking about a lot more here today. So I want to just show...
I'm sorry, I think he's a weirdo. I think he's overestimating how popular Borderlands really is. I think he's so full of himself that he doesn't understand that there's maybe like a couple of hundred of people who will be ready to show out money for Borderlands 4, but he's not gonna be huge. Like, I'm not saying the game is not gonna sell at all. I do think maybe there's gonna be like 4,000 active players.
Oh no, actually, it's a very diehard fan base. There's gonna be at least, I'm predicting it, 10,000.
Yeah, but the reality is 10,000 players is not gonna be enough.
Oh, I mean, like when the game, the hype dies down.
We'll see, we'll see. I think you guys gonna hate it. I kind of like Tiny Tina. It was good for what it was.
Yeah.
Like, me and Zen played it together. It was good for what it was. I do think it's a little overpriced. But me and Zen, like, in our private time, we had fun. Like, I cracked a lot of inappropriate jokes there. It was a fun experience, but for me, I think it's mostly because me and Zen played it together off stream, our personal time.
The general progression here, because I think it makes the video, number one, a lot more amusing because you just see that transformation over time, like that switch just flips. But also, I think it's important to just see context A versus context B. So let's roll the clip. Here's Randy Pitchford at PAX East 2025 talking about Borderlands 4 for $80.
That's an interesting one. I don't know this.
Really now? I'll tell you the truth. I don't know, and that is the truth. I'll hit it. I'll hit it straight on. And it's an interesting time, right? We've got the on one level, we've got a competitive marketplace where people want to, or the people that make those choices want to sell as many units as possible, and they want to be careful about people that are price sensitive. So there's some folks.
Isn't that the whole thing when you provide a product? You want to sell as many units as possible. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
Am I missing something? But what?
Folks that don't want to see prices go up, even the ones deciding what the prices are. There's other folks accepting the reality that game budgets are increasing and there's tariffs for the retail packaging, and like it's getting gnarly out there, you guys. Borderlands 4 has more than twice the development budget than Borderlands 3. More than twice. The truth is, I don't know what the price is going to be. I do know that we will be opening pre-orders soon, TM, and that will be when the price is set. I think that Borderlands 4, here's the philosophy we have. Whatever the price is, we're entertainers. Yes, we want to get more resources so we can make bigger and better games. There's a reason.
Yeah, but it doesn't look bigger or better.
No.
It actually doesn't. I don't know if they hired new artists or what's happening there, but it looks underwhelming compared to the predecessors. As for the pricing, he still claims that he literally had zero say in how the game is going to be priced.
Why Borderlands 4 is so awesome, it's because you guys showed up and supported Borderlands 3. And we had the budget, so we could more than double the budget and feel confident in that. And that's awesome. When the revenue comes in, we could spend it to make bigger games and better games. As artists, we want everybody to have it. You know, we want to make it as easy as possible for everybody to enjoy what we're creating. So it's a weird thing, but the fundamental philosophy is we want people to buy it so we have the resources to make more, but we want everyone who buys and plays a Gearbox game to feel certain that they got the better end of the bargain.
I don't believe it.
No.
Like, I don't believe it even for a second. We all saw how the game looks. We all saw what they greenlit and allowed to be pushed in the box office as well as a movie. I don't believe that Gearbox, the entirety of the Borderlands franchise, any longer cares about the product quality.
All right, this answer packs a lot in it. I think at a certain point in the comment, he was kind of belaboring it and trying to dance around it, but he did what I think was the best thing to do. Put it on Take-Two. Hey, we're artists. We want as many people to play, but also keep in mind the shifting economy in the games industry. We've doubled the budget since Borderlands 3 because of how many people supported us. That puts pressure on Borderlands 4 to do more. You can ease that pressure by like jumping the price tag by $10. So I get all sides. You already know how I feel about $80 games. I'm not
Unpopular opinion. They could have just made like a ripoff of like Borderlands 2 and just made an MMO.
For the world?
Yeah. Just Borderlands MMO. I don't know.
not here for it. I can't think of a game I'd pay $80 for. But nonetheless, it's at least well-reasoned and deflective enough where there was no reaction to this, which, well done, right? That's how it should have been. Now, when this topic first popped up, we talked about it in Defining Duke. So Defining Duke listeners, I apologize if I am reiterating myself. But for those who don't listen, well, first off, you should. What are you doing? But second of all, what I talked about in that episode was that the reason Borderlands 4 should stay at $70 has, to me, very little actually to do with the video game itself, because I feel like companies are going to company, corporate's going to corporate, bean counter's going to bean count, all that stuff, right? That's going to happen regardless of the fact, and while I think it should stay at $70 on just principle alone, here's why I think Borderlands 4 should just stay at $70. And it's Randy Pitchford. Guy can't help himself, right? We talked about the Borderlands movie and his reaction to it. He just can't help himself. So that gets into our next point here. What really brings us to the
No, I want to read what he said. I sincerely do not think the movie, quote unquote, stinks. That's a hot take. I enjoyed it and I'm super glad that it exists. I don't know if I agree with nothing close to the game, depending on what you mean by that. If you're saying that my friend and I have done a better job with the games than this unbelievable cast and crew of filmmakers did with the movie, I'm very flattered and I'm happy to live in that world. I'm close to it. It seems about half the people who actually see the movie seem to like it, and half the people who see it don't like it. That's cool. All opinions are valid. The Beatles had more number one hits than any other band in history, and their hit rate was less than 25%. That's how it is with entertainment. Gotta keep swimming. Okay, but okay, he's comparing Borderlands to the Beatles. That's a tall order to process on its own. As for not every single song of Beatles being a hit, because not every single song is released as a single. That's one. Just because they weren't a huge hit doesn't mean they were stinkers. And Borderlands, the Borderlands franchise, Gearbox, is providing stinkers lately.
He just can't help himself. So that gets into our next point here. What really brings us to the table of the $80 games conversation, again, is his interaction with a fan on Twitter. So it was confirmed that Gearbox was going to be bringing Borderlands 4 over to Nintendo Switch 2. Randy Pitchford quote tweets it. He's very excited to bring it over there. And then a fan writes in, Randy, this game better not be $80. Don't take that risk. A lot of gamers aren't going to pay $80 and feed this notion of constant increase of the price tag. You are the CEO. You have some say with the price when it comes to your publisher. And Randy says, A, not my call.
That is the part I don't understand. What is happening in Gearbox that he cannot have any say in how the game is being priced? That is what's confusing me.
B, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working minimum wage at an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen.
No, he's genuinely overestimating. Him saying this, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. That's the most self-conceited thing I've heard in the gaming industry for a while.
At an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. Oh god. So this is exactly what I was talking about. I said, if you put it at $80, what's going to happen is Randy's going to get on his heels, and he is going to choose to endlessly defend this thing. And why do we know that's going to happen? Not only because he's got a reputation doing it, but literally just happened with the Borderlands movie. The Borderlands movie was abysmal. I sat through the whole damn thing. It was one of the worst things I've ever watched, okay?
I mean,
Even with these actors and actresses, it's still flopped.
yeah.
And I'm not saying that because, oh, I fell off the Borderlands hype train. It was objectively terrible. Acting, terrible. Script, terrible. The budget, there were literally slip-ups on camera. Like, you see people, like, peeking through the little crate that
Top-tier production, by the way.
everyone was looking up at. Like, you could see the set guy in the background of that. The green screen effects were worse than, like, Phantom Menace. Like, it was just a really bad, low-budget movie. Meanwhile, while people were saying that and expressing their feelings on social media, Randy was arguing with them the whole time, as we documented extensively here on the channel. Seeing that, if I am Take-Two, I genuinely think I bite the bullet, and even if $80 makes us a lot more money short-term, I go for 70 and play the long game, because you don't put this guy on his heels where he totally tanks the potential performance of the game. Because number one, a lot of people aren't ready for $80, and I don't think they'll be ready for $80 for a long, long while, if ever. But now,
Yeah, a lot of people would just buy it on sale.
you have a guy who's a bona fide,
Like, it's gonna be, like, there will be people who buy it for full retail when it drops. There's gonna be a lot of content creators who are gonna test the game on streams, post review videos. Heck, I'm probably gonna be one of those people who will play it on stream. But really, a lot of people are gonna either A, wait for sales, B, play it through subscriptions, like PlayStation Plus, Game Pass. So I don't know. I do wonder how much main quest playtime it's gonna be. My assumption is gonna be like maybe 20, 30.
Yeah, and then there's gonna be grind for gears and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's just after.
We'll see, but I'm gonna say this right away. If the main quest story is gonna be just 20, 30 hours, the game is not worth $80.
Salesman, right? Saying, well, I'm the CEO of the game developer and I have literally no say in this. It's not my call at all. I'm like, I believe it to an extent. Like, I imagine Take-Two has a lot of sway in that conversation, but to act like you're just defenseless little Gearbox, it's like, dude, Borderlands has sold a stupid amount of copies. Stupid amount. It is a global franchise. And you, as the owner of that IP, have some level of say here. Can you overturn a bunch of corporates who are looking to get money back on their investment? Maybe not. But there is a conversation that it has when you are deciding on the price tag of your game, because it literally factors into the budget for marketing, for development. Like, there is literally a plan made where it's like, okay, how many copies do we need to sell at 70, at 80 to not only just get our development costs back, but also to profit. So I don't believe that shit, to be frank. But if you're Take-Two, you just bite the bullet. $70, don't make this guy go out on social media and defend $80, because it will literally tank the performance of the game, because people aren't ready for $80 and Randy's going to do his Randy thing. So that just gets into the whole conversation about $80 games. Again, I kind of blinked over this when I first saw it, because I'm like, no way. Like, that's just way too much money. But we've seen, as we covered here, Xbox going to $80 and Nintendo.
Yeah, like, I'm a little bit tired of this discussion of like people still asking, why is everything going up in prices? Because frankly, everything went up in prices. Every single service, would it be restaurants, lawyers, doctors, dentists, everything went up in prices. Rents went up in prices, electricity, internet, phones, gas, everything went up in prices. So are games going up in prices. Am I defending that? In a sense, you could say that, but the only reason I'm defending that, because over time, yes, expenses get bigger because the general expense on labor and electricity and everything gets higher, right? But the problem is, while they're raising the price, the quality goes down. So that is the main problem. The
Yeah.
quality is going down while the prices are going up. And the reason why we feel these prices especially is because cost of living went massively up, salaries didn't go up, and now the entertainment is going up while the entertainment is lacking. So that's why we feel it that much.
Really is the one who forced that door open with Mario Kart World, where I think this conversation is going to resurrect again. Now, in that PAX East clip, the one thing that Randy did say is, soon, TM, we're going to be showing off pre-orders, and that's where the price will be revealed, that sort of thing. If it's happening soon, again, I feel like he'd have an idea of like which way they're leaning. If they're building a literal pre-order page, and again, a marketing campaign, like they kind of got to already know what that price is going to be. But if it is soon-ish, we have showcases coming up. We have like Summer Games Fest. We have the Xbox showcase, so we could get it around then. But it also could just be a soon-ish, because if the game's coming out in September, there's likely...
Okay, I have a question to everyone. What would be the one game that you absolutely would not mind paying $80 for?
Vermintide 2.
Okay, yeah, you played it for hours and hours.
Yep.
I wonder if it would be cheating to say Final Fantasy Online, because it's a subscription-based game anyways. Elder Scrolls 6 or Skyrim or Fallout 5. Damn, I gotta go to the library. World of Warcraft is a good example, but it's not valid because it's subscription-based. New big Zelda game running at a solid 60 FPS on Switch too. Shut the fuck up, put it.
Red Dead Redemption. Dark Hell is a Path of Exile shell. I respect that.
I think to justify $80, the main quest needs to be minimum 80 hours. Each dollar needs to be 1 hour of the main quest.
Okay.
In my opinion. I'm not talking about side quests. I'm not talking about side hustles. I'm talking about your main 9 to 5. Fallout 4 and Skyrim, I have over 1,000 hours each. Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2, I'm over 1,000 on both combined.
John says
Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, I have about 400 hours. Pathfinder 1 and 2. Okay.
John says Infamous, The Second Son, Monster Hunter, Nike, Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Fallout New Vegas.
a little bit of a wait and see approach happening. How do people respond to Nintendo at $80? And then how much confidence does that give publishers, developers? Like, I truly think a lot of the people who are wanting to jump to 80 are either Xbox, who's just going to like bull rush their way in there because that's what Xbox, that's what Microsoft has done forever, or those who are sitting back waiting because once it becomes the thing people might adjust to. Again, I think some publishers are getting ahead of themselves. We adjusted to $70 because I think that was almost an acceptable bump. But it was like, that's not.
How much did we play on Diablo for Diablo 4? Each of us paid 90, 100, something like that.
Something like that.
Both me and Zen, to be fair, it's on us that we wasted that much money. You know how much time we played combined? Maybe 4 hours combined.
Yeah.
That's the sad reality. We paid for that god-awful game, got 4 hours combined play hours out of it, never opened it again. Which was the most depressing thing for me because, again, Diablo 2 has been the game for me growing up. I still played it up until they made it into a remaster. And I even still try to play the remaster. And I played Diablo 3. And I even tried Diablo Immortal. Because, you know, he was right. I did have a phone. Anyway, but Diablo 4, I think that's where officially my heart probably broke in pieces. Where I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, Diablo just doesn't exist anymore. Now back to the video.
It's the highest we're going to go, fam. And to jump up to 80 so quickly after, like 3 years later, it's just too much. But I think some people are waiting patiently until some numbers come in and go, look, people are buying it for this price, so we can do it too. I think it's a slippery slope. I think AA games are going to be on a takeover spree. There's a game I want to talk about sometime this week or next week. Tainted Grail: Fall of Avalon. It's a Polish team that's developing a game inspired by Elder Scrolls, and we've covered it here on the channel. Full disclosure, by the way, it was a sponsored video, but the game's awesome. So that's a AA game coming out soon. Obviously, Claire, Obscure Expedition 33 speaks for.
I feel like he's already better than most content creators these days who don't even disclose that they're sponsored for playing a specific game.
Itself, that was a $50 game. We have Split Fiction, $50 game. Oblivion Remastered, $50 game. So if I'm a publisher, I think going lower is actually the win here. You'll sell more copies, you'll generate more positive buzz, and let's not.
Genuinely, it's a crime complaining about new releases. There's a lot of new games that are so much fun.
Yeah.
So yes, we do get stinkers since last year, but we are getting good games too.
Ignore the elephant in the room that Synth Potato actually pointed out on Twitter. Good dude. And he mentioned this, and I didn't even think about it at the moment. I was like, dude, Borderlands is like as close to live service as you can get without actually being live service. Like, it's a co-op shooter. I'm glad they haven't buckled to the live service trend. I think that would literally kill the series. But Borderlands does have seasonal DLC, skins, story packs, and they support the games for years. Now, obviously, for everything you add to the game, you have to allocate a budget for it, get ready to sell it, make profit on it, rinse and repeat, right? So there's still a business to it, but it's not like you're paying $80. It's like, hey, everything you get after this is free, which is kind of like what Nintendo's doing if you're subscribed to Switch Online. So there's, to some people, like, oh, if I'm already subscribed to Switch Online, it's $20 a year or whatever, $50 a year, like, offsets right there. Where something like Borderlands.
Did you just say Switch Online $50 a year? I don't know. I still have a problem with these things, like you have to pay money. Like I have a major problem with what Xbox is doing, what Switch is doing. To have access to online, you have to pay money. The device, so you have the device, right? You paid for the device, you paid for the game, you pay for your internet, and you still need to pay monthly to even access the internet through the device that you both paid for, but you still need to pay for the device to even connect to online. I have a lot of issues with that.
It's like, oh, you're spending 80, 100, 120, 140 by the time it's all said and done if you're a real Borderlands fan, and that's the target here. I just think that the real Borderlands fans have shrunken over the years. There's definitely a ton of people ready to purchase it, but I do feel like after the movie and the kind of decline of quality for the mainline series that there is this possibility, like, you're betting a little big, you might want to take it just a touch conservative. I can't believe I'm saying a touch conservative.
And by the way, I don't want anyone complaining that I'm whining about $50 a year. I paid for the device, I paid for the game, I pay for the internet. I don't want to hear someone whine about my whining on it. It's nonsensical. You paid for all of that, but you still need to pay for it to function. It's stupid. It's the same shit BMW tried to pull. You have to pay a subscription to even have full access to your full functionality of the car.
Oh my god.
If you don't see that that's literally the same shit, you have a problem.
It's a $70 video game. It's so much money still. Nonetheless, I imagine we'll find out soon. I've ranted and raved about $80 games many times before, but ultimately, I think Take-Two should hold off on this and let GTA 6 be the next standard setter, because a lot of people talk about GTA 6 like, oh, that's going to definitely be 80, no doubt about it. I'm like, you guys think they're going to do 80? Like,
I think it's gonna be more than 80. GTA 6 is gonna be way more than 80. Not way more, but it's gonna be more than 80.
I'm of the mindset they're going to go above it because
Yeah.
of GTA Online and everything. Like, I'm of the mindset they're going to shoot a
Logitech mouse subscription, yes.
And it's stupid too.
We had a whole video on it. So the thing with that mouse is you literally cannot buy the mouse. You can only subscribe to the mouse. We even cracked a joke about it. What are they gonna do if I'm late on my payment? Just show up at the door and take my mouse?
above 80. I think they'll go 90 or 100. Like, I'm not trying to will it to existence. I apologize, but I feel like Take-Two is going to be the most bullish because they have some IP that they can push for. It's interesting because at the same time, we just learned being published by Take-Two, developed by Hangar 13, is Mafia: The Old Country. $50 video game. Very excited for it. They also are making it more linear, less open world. Like, these are the type of games that people are looking for nowadays. They're not looking for these like 80 to 90 to 100 hour epics constantly, which funny enough we still continue to get, but that's not what everyone is looking for. So it's weird that Take-Two is like answering that pocket, and Borderlands kind of finds itself between the two. Like, a lot of pull, a lot of fans. It could do really well on the market, but is it big enough to push $80 like a GTA could easily? Because you know people are going to be like, all right, whatever. It's thrown into the budget.
Okay, I might be not a fan of GTA, but you cannot deny the fact that GTA provides you more playable things than Borderlands. Why are we even having the discussion of comparing GTA to Borderlands? And I'm coming from a point of I didn't like GTA, but I like Borderlands. But even I'm realistic enough to understand like that's comparing like like a flip flop to a freaking Italian leather shoe.
With like the, no offense, but casuals like your Maddens, your NBAs, your MLBs, like, you know, oh, I'm gonna pick up one copy of GTA and like buy really nothing else except for my seasonal sports games and the occasional single player game for the next like 5 years. So it's like, this is whatever. Sure, I'll spend the money on this. I'll save up for it. That's where I feel like the real fan stuff plays a factor. And like what Randy says here, there is a level of like, we've all had that moment where we like just scratched and clawed our way to enough money to just buy a thing that we were really excited about. But also those were like different times with less information and less accessibility. And now we're in these times. So I understand what he's trying to say here, but yeah, I hope that they don't take the risk, because I just think it's not even about the game. I think the game looks great. So I'm excited about it. But when you put it at $80, obviously that changed the whole perception of what people want out of it. But it also changes just like the fact that the CEO of Gearbox is going to have to defend it. And that is going to create a PR nightmare for Take-Two and Borderlands. And it's going to be every headline.
It's already creating a PR nightmare. You literally cannot escape people making videos on it. You cannot escape people talking on streams on it. Hey. You cannot escape people writing about it, tweeting about it. That's what people are talking about. He's literally the new guy who took the throne off. You guys have phones, right? I'll probably still stream it though.